Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, this is an incredible honor for me. And I don't say this lightly. Quite honestly, this just might be my sweetest victory. Not that I wasn't absolutely delirious about all the good things that happened to me in my career, but for me tonight is about my profound love of cars. All of them, not just race cars. I don't actually remember the moment I fell in love with cars, but I know I was still a toddler and still living in Italy. And that's especially odd because our family didn't even own a car. So how I became so captivated at such a young age, I mean, who knows? But my twin brother Aldo and I, we would grab some of these pots and pans, well, lids from pots and pans, and one guy would hold a knob and the other guy would just steer around the kitchen, around the house, and for hours, one being the car, one being the driver. And you know, I don't know why, but that's the way it was. And I think the die was cast back then. The rest of my life centered on cars. And when we moved from Italy to the United States, we left everything behind, including our pots and pans. I was 6 or 7 when I first saw an American car for the first time. We were walking to my parents' house in Montana, and I saw this unbelievably beautiful, shiny, black car. My dad said it was an American car. The only other car in town was a Fiat Topolino owned by the town doctor, and it was always dirty because obviously most of the roads were not paved. But this American car was pure, it was shiny. I wasn't sure what kind it was, but the shape captured my imagination. And a year after arriving in America, I was about 16, I went with my dad to look for a used car. And I remember looking for that shape, that shiny black car I'd seen in Italy. And suddenly, there it was, a 1946 Ford. Dark blue, now 10 years old. It was about $150, and my dad bought it. I was so happy. And I was 17 when I got my own first car. My dad bought that too. This was also something I had to share with my brother Aldo, my twin brother Aldo. It was a 57 Chevy Bel Air, 2-door hardtop, red and white. I mean, this bad boy made us kings of the block there for many years, at least until 1961. And even then, with 175,000 miles on, it was still a cream puff. Well, although that car was my first love, there have been many since. In fact, I've been in love 1,000 times with a 65 Mustang, a Mercury station wagon, a BMW, a Buick, a Mercedes, an Oldsmobile, an Audi, a Lincoln, a Ferrari, a Ford van, a Cadillac, Corvette, Porsche, Jeep Renegade, a Jaguar, a Dodge Charger, Toyota, Lamborghini, a Yugo. Well, you get the message. The point is, if you put a cardboard box on wheels and it looks anything like a car, I'm going to love it. But not only did I love cars, I wanted to be a racer. And there was this, like the piece that we saw, that there was a half-a-mile dirt track about a mile where we lived in Pennsylvania. And these were the modified stock cars, and there was a lot of speed, and it looked very, very doable to us. So once my brother and I saw this track, we were on a mission. Now, how exactly do you become a racer? Well, first you need a car, and there are only 3 ways to obtain a car. You steal it, which was against our principles. You buy it, except we didn't have that kind of money, or build it yourself. Well, that was our only hope. So we set out to build a car, listen to anybody who had even the slightest knowledge of race cars. We found out about engines, shocks, spring rates, suspension, chassis setup, and on and on. And we were so proud when we made our debut with a 1948 Hudson. At age 19, 4 years after arriving in America, I was racing. That's how it began for me. Now, why am I telling you this? It's because it was at this point in my life that I really developed my passion for automobile technology. While building this car, I became stimulated by new developments. I love to drive, but I was just as passionate about taking the car back to the garage and working on it. And I learned from trial and error. There was a lot of educated guessing going on, a lot of exploring and taking chances. And I embraced every change made to my race car, and I was stimulated and motivated by the feedback we got from it. I wanted so much to win, and knowledge was just helping me. It was obvious. I was so inspired. I was always thinking about this car. 24 hours a day, about trying this, trying that. But it wasn't just that car. Everything about the automobile has always been inspiring to me, and it will be until the end of my time. I love the brochures that come out every year. To me, it's like admiring your new baby. Even better than that. I see those cars and my heart beats. I drool. Since my retirement from racing, I've been especially privileged to work with companies that keep me connected to the automotive industry. Bridgestone Firestone, Magnaflow Exhaust Systems, Infineon Technologies, and Chevron Corporation. How much luckier can a guy get? And speaking about luck, it's especially meaningful that Mark Emkes came from Nashville tonight to present me with this honor. Thank you, Mark. And I'm thrilled and gratified to have you and so many of my friends from Bridgestone Firestone here to share this with me. I'd like to acknowledge another table. It's probably the noisiest table here this evening. It's about my management group out of they're based here in Detroit, Sports Management Network. Thank you so much for being here. Everyone is here, headed by John Caponegro. And also to my fellow inductees, congratulations. In conclusion, cars have been an absolute joy in my life. And it is the ultimate compliment to me to be inducted into the Automotive Hall of Fame. I'm honored to have a place in the hall and cherish the opportunity it's given me to have a lasting bond with the automobile. If pure love of the automobile is the only criteria for this award, then I deserve it. And I humbly accept. This has been a very memorable evening, and thank you for including me.